We're going to go ahead and get started. Yes, you are in the right spot. If you're seeing some strange Chinese characters on your screen, don't worry. Richly will explain what those mean. I know what they mean, but you're definitely here at the right spot. Welcome, everyone. For those of you who don't know me or remember me, I'm Dr. Lauren Levine. I am your host and moderator for the webinar. As usual, we got a great turnout, close to 200 people registered. As always, I start these webinars by hoping that everyone is staying healthy and safe out there. I commend you for being here this evening, continuing your dental education, in an effort to try to do things differently. In the past, most of my webinars were more clinically oriented, and really over the last year or two, I've really tried to expand that, especially on areas that are hot topics in dentistry. I think we can all agree that AI is an immensely hot topic, a red hot topic right now, and we've got a great speaker to discuss that with us. I'm only going to speak for a couple of minutes. I want to make sure that Ridgely can speak for as long as he needs. Those of you who have been here in the past know the routine. We don't do verbal questions because of the number of people that are here. The format is that our speaker will talk for as long as they want to talk, usually about 30 to 45 minutes, give or take, and then we open it up for Q&A. If you have any questions, just type them into that GoToWebinar control panel that you have on your screen. We get to the questions at the end. I'll take them in the order that they are received. It is very rare that I don't get to all the questions at the end. We never know. Sometimes we get 5 questions, sometimes we get 100. My expectation is we'll be able to get everyone's questions answered. In the next few days, look for a couple of things. The webinar is recorded, as I do for all my webinars. You will be sent an email sometime, probably this evening, from me, maybe tomorrow from Ridgely, with a link that you can download and view that recording at your leisure. So don't worry if you can't make it to the end, you get distracted. We are recording all of this. I oftentimes get a number of emails after the webinar asking about the CE credits. I'll try to mention that a few times this evening. I'm going to send out the CE credits. It'll be sometime this evening, most likely. There's nothing you need to do. No test, no quiz, no registration. GoToWebinar tracks when you clicked on that link to log in and when you logged out, and it looks at the total number of minutes. As long as you were here for the bulk of the webinar, you'll be sent the CE. In the past, occasionally I've had people say, well, I called the number, and, but I didn't show me as being registered. Calling a number doesn't do you any good. Everyone has the same number to call in. It's a PowerPoint. So, you have to, it's like watching a movie with your eyes closed if you're not logged in. So you have to have clicked that link. That link is unique to you. And once you've done that, it'll register you for the webinar. So keep an eye on your inbox over the next day or two for both the CE credits as well as the recording. So with that out of the way, I am thrilled. I've known Ridgely for a number of years. He is an author and international speaker, Ridgely Goldsborough. He believes taking complex topics and making sense out of them is really the right thing to be doing here. He started his first business at age 16, and since graduating from law school, he's founded 45 different companies. Ridgely is the founder of Mind Types and Dental Market Dominator, which is a cutting program to attract ideal patients using brain biology and limbic messaging and powered by AI tools. He's written 20 books. He's hosted his own TV show and created dozens of online programs on success and prosperity. He's a frequent speaker at digital marketing conferences and devoted to helping others reach their highest potential. Ridgely, I'm so thrilled to have you here. Looking forward to the presentation, and take it away.
Thank you, sir. Lauren, it's great to be with you as well, and all the esteemed colleagues that are on the call tonight. And we are going to dive in and talk about AI and AI in dentistry and how it is changing new patient acquisition forever. What you're looking at, this crazy Chinese character, actually is the representation of both crisis and opportunity in Chinese. And I believe that at the middle of that is AI. AI represents both a crisis if you are not dealing with it, and an enormous opportunity if you are. What do I mean by that? It is changing the landscape of new patient acquisition and every other aspect of dentistry in a huge way. It means that if you are optimizing for AI, you have a massive opportunity to dominate your marketplace. And if you're not, you are slowly but very steadily becoming invisible. And I mean this very sincerely, my friends. Please pay attention to the presentation. It may be one of the more important ones you've ever seen before. And if you stick around for a little bit here, I will give you an opportunity to get a complimentary from us AI audit to show you where you are, how you rank, what does that look like, and what you can do to dominate your space. Now let's talk about this for a second. An elite dental practice is impacted by AI on every level. First, you have clinical excellence. That's what you do every single day. And oh, by the way, you're using AI everywhere, diagnostics, imaging, all sorts of things that are coming out. Then the next thing you have is your practice management. How do you take care of your team? And you're using AI to do that, setting up the schedules, what's the end of day look like, how do you communicate internally, etc. But perhaps the biggest is new patient acquisition. New patient acquisition is changing dramatically because of AI and the AI tools that are out there and the behavior of human beings that are using AI. Very important to stay close with me on this because we're talking primarily about new patients. So what is digital marketing? What does digital marketing look like? But digital marketing is only about two things: traffic. How do people find you? Let me repeat that. Traffic, new patients. How do they find you? And once they find you, it's about conversion. What happens when they do? Traffic and conversion. There's nothing more to digital marketing than this, but both are very important and in and of themselves quite complex. So at the moment, Google is still the 800-pound gorilla out there. Google equals new patients. Where and how? Well, let's start. First, you have your paid traffic. Google Ads, your PPC, what you're putting out there. We're in an intent-based industry, which is great. People are looking for your services. They search for them. You find them in organic. That's where the search rankings are. You're going to find new patients through the maps, your Google Maps, your local maps. You're going to find them through the Google Business Profile, your business listing. And then there are the new kids on the block. AI traffic, AI overviews, which sit above all else, which is critical to understand. Above everything is AI overviews. In terms of a local page, you're going to see AI overviews at the top. Then you're going to see your traffic, organic traffic. Then you're going to see the maps and so on, and AI engines. And these last two are the ones that we really want to talk about because these are the ones that will make a tremendous difference for your practice if you pay attention and optimize for both. So right now, today, Google controls 93+% of organic search traffic, and they control almost 82% of the paid traffic market. In other words, they are without a doubt the big dog, the 800-pound gorilla, and it has given them a valuation of over $4 trillion. That is an insane amount of money, a huge number. And what it means to me and you is that Google cannot afford to lose the AI war, and they have a war chest that is massive to fight this war, and they're going to go after it in a big way. So let's talk about Google AI round one. What's the battle? What does that look like? Because it's very important to you, and you have already experienced the effects of round one. Because Google has a problem, and the problem is the following. They don't have enough compute power to both index globally the billions and billions of website pages and compete in AI, both which require massive amounts of compute power and huge data centers. They don't have enough to do both. So they say to themselves, okay, if we don't have enough to do both, we have to cut back on one of these. Which one is it going to be? Well, it's certainly not going to be AI. So they began in the middle of last year on May 26th to de-index pages. And the update was announced at the end of June on the 30th. By the way, Google never officially announces a core update because they don't want anybody to game the system. What is de-indexing? It means they're making those pages invisible. Why? What are the reasoning behind that? The reasoning is they're saying, wait a second, if a page has thin content or duplicate content or machine generated content or content that generates low engagement or a lack of topical authority, remember that term, we're going to get back to that, we're going to de-index it. We're going to make sure we're going to make that page invisible so that we don't have to crawl that page and use our compute power. We can devote that power to AI. What did that mean to you? 30 to 40% of dental practice website pages were de-indexed, resulting in massive decreases in your visibility. By the way, a website is not indexed. Website pages are indexed. So you can still have a website out there and it looks all fine and good without knowing that 40% of the pages on that website just became invisible. Big problem for you, because what does that mean? Your visibility is down, your rankings go down, and your new patients go down. Clearly a problem that needs to be remedied in a very big way, or else. So historically, how did we get pages to rank? Well, we have all types of tools such as robots.txt, that is the language of bots and crawlers, robots.txt. We have schema, which is code you put on pages, on-page search engine optimization, all things designed to welcome search bots to index you and say, hey, you exist, you can be recommended. What did that look like? If done properly, here's one of our clients, Southern Smiles of Sylacauga. There they are, Dentist Sylacauga, Alabama, and they show up #1 in the organic rankings. If you'll notice, Dentist Sylacauga, Alabama also shows up #1 in the maps. That means if somebody's locally looking, they're going to find them first. And again, we're going to go through a number of these. Best Dentist Sylacauga, who shows up first? Southern Smiles. On the maps, who shows up first? Southern Smiles. This is what you want to dominate a market. Best Cosmetic Dentist Sylacauga, Alabama. And who's at the top? Southern Smiles is in the #1 spot. And on the maps, they're in the #1 spot. What does that mean? That means that every single time that somebody searches for the best cosmetic dentist in Sylacauga, these guys are showing up before anybody else. Here we got, here are our local maps. If somebody searches from that particular area for dentist, you can see how they completely dominate the #1 spots here. That teeth whitening, we took them from invisible to 100% complete and total domination. Obviously, that's not a high ticket case, but they get them in the door and they go from there. Here's another one, emergency dentist. As you can see, they're basically in a spot where they are completely dominating the marketplace. However, and here's the pivot that everybody wants to pay very close attention to. We are moving to an era of 0 clicks. What do we mean by that? We mean that people are no longer going to type and click like they used to, when all they have to do is pick up their device, whatever that device may be. Let's say it's a phone, could be a watch, could be a tablet, could be your computer, and talk into that device. So if I have an accident, for example, and fall and break some teeth, I don't have to click and type anymore. I can simply pick up my device, talk into my whatever voice activated engine that I want to, including Google, and say something like, hey, I just broke a couple of teeth. I had an accident. I need some help. Who's a dentist that can take care of me? Insert the location of wherever you are. AI is then going to answer them and say, well, we know that Dr. Lauren Levine is available in your area. He can definitely take care of you, and he's been around for a long time. Oh, great. What are his open hours? Oh, well, Dr. Lauren Levine's office is open between this hour and this hour, etc. They go back and forth. As a result of interfacing with AI in that way, they're going to get their questions answered. When their questions are answered, they're never going to click on anything else. They're simply going to call Dr. Lauren Levine, or you if you're optimized for AI, or your competition if you're not. Really important. We're moving to an era that's all about talking, not typing. People are going to default to the easiest possible way to do things. And obviously, if I don't have to type because I can talk, that's what I'm going to do. And it's going to be to the AI overviews, to Perplexity, DeepSeek, ChatGPT, whatever your engine of choice is, all of these are generating results that are going to drive new patients based on AI optimization. New patients are going to come from AI recommendations more and more. And as we keep on going, it's only going to get bigger. And we have a new language. If you'll recall from a few moments ago, we talk about the language of bots and crawlers being robots.txt. Now the language of AI is LLMS, large language models, that's AI.txt. And it's a gold rush. You need to make sure that this language is installed on the pages across your online presence, on your website, so that this invites the AI engines in to take a look at you and recommend you. And other factors include schema code, like we had before, but now we have frequently asked questions, phrasing content like humans, and AI-friendly copy. What do we mean by that? What it means is most websites, you go to a website and it's going to say Invisalign dash the perfect invisible choice, or it's going to say dental implants dash so, and then it's going to give some clinical way of saying that. We can't do that anymore because people don't speak to AI engines like that. They speak in the way that a human speaks. Is Invisalign right for me? That is a phrasing that sounds like a human. It is AI-friendly copy, and you're going to want to do that everywhere that you have a presence online. Here's a very interesting case study about the difference between old school and new school. Here we have dentist in Ruston, Louisiana, and this operation, Johnston & Murphy, shows up first. How about this? Best dentist in Ruston, Louisiana. Johnston & Murphy shows up first again. Obviously, they're doing something right. Cosmetic dentist in Ruston, Louisiana. Look at who's there. Johnston & Murphy. Great. And then finally, one more time, implant dentist. And they're first on the maps. They're doing a good job at old school SEO. What's the problem? The problem is that the landscape is changing and we're moving into the age of AI. So when you ask it in an AI fashion, who is the best dentist in Ruston, Louisiana? Johnston & Murphy are gone. They have disappeared. Who's taken over? Patrick Stuckey and the Ruston Dental Clinic. Patrick Stuckey has usurped the Johnston & Murphy #1 ranking because he's optimizing for AI. Who's the best family dentist in Ruston? Oh, look at that. Patrick Stuckey, again, not Johnston & Murphy. This is a real problem, and it is happening to you if you are not optimizing for AI. I guarantee it. And here's the problem. You don't even know that they're going somewhere else. It's not visible. It's like death by 1,000 cuts. So I went there and I looked. What's Patrick Stuckey doing? Look at that. Using AI-friendly language. Is Invisalign right for me? That's how people would ask an AI engine. And oh, by the way, he has frequently asked questions, which is what AI engines want. This is so critical that we understand this. The game has changed. It is never going back. And whoever pays attention to this is going to have the opportunity to dominate. It is you against the practice of Patrick Stuckey's of the world. Those people who are optimizing for AI are taking the patients away from the competition. So you have to decide which side of this equation do you want to be on? The side that doesn't optimize for AI and stays around old school, or on the Patrick Stuckey side that takes away the patients from the competition. Let's take a look at the numbers here because it's staggering how fast this is happening. Look at that. Sedation dentistry in January of last year was at 12%. By December, 88% of searches were showing up in AI overviews above all other types of rankings. Same with dental implants, same with cosmetic smile makeovers, same with Invisalign, same with basically any type of high ticket cases. AI searches are taking over, and it's only going to continue as people continue the practice of talking and not typing. And you need to be optimized for this. Look at this. AI overviews are, the answers are showing up in organic, above the organic listings, above everything at the absolute top of the screen in 80 to 90% of all cases. I don't know about you, but I'd be awfully worried about this if I wasn't a part of that. By the way, of course, if you look at our clients, then you can see that Southern Smiles of Sylacauga is at the absolute top in the AI overview. When asked the question, I'm missing some good teeth and I'm missing some teeth and need a good dentist. I live in Sylacauga, and there they are at the top. And of course, they're at the top of organic. Here's another example. I'm afraid of the dentist that will have some problems. I live in Sylacauga, and there's Southern Smiles at the top, which is where you need and want to be to make sure that you get the best patients. In other words, Southern Smiles has total domination of their market, which equals getting all of the best patients. Super critical. Okay, let's move on. AI round 2. We're warming up here. Critical to pay attention because there was another core update in December of 2025, and Google made another change because of AI. What did they say? High ticket new patients is now a visibility game. The question to ask is, does AI see you? Really important. Do they see you, or are they seeing somebody else? Well, how does that work? EEAT. EEAT is what determines whether Google and other AI engines sees you. Experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trust. This is what Google and the AI engines are telling us they want to see from you in order to have you show up and be recommended before anybody else. How are you going to do that? Remember, we talked earlier, I said, remember this term, topical authority. You're going to create topical authority content clusters, or TACs. This is what is required. What does that look like? It looks like this. At the very top, you have your practice, and you're going to share everything there is to know about your practice so that you demonstrate your experience and your expertise. Directly below that, you're going to create a sub-pillar, a pillar with a topic. Remember, topical authority. Let's say the example here is sedation. And below that, you're going to have supporting articles that are all about sedation that give you the authority. So the experience and the expertise comes at the top in your practice. The topic is sedation. The authority comes from the supporting articles, and it ends up looking like this: a gigantic topical authority content cluster, or a TAC. There you have the practice at the top. Southern Smiles of Sylacauga use the same practice to make sure we're consistent. The sub-pillar is sedation. Supporting article number 1 is cost. Number 2 is what to expect. Number 3, safety protocols. Number 4, risk and suitability. Number 5, who's this right for? And I'm going to show you just the pillar article only to give you an idea of how comprehensive this is and why they completely dominate. Here you go. Look at this. This is the pillar article only. It has its own table of contents inside the article. That's how big this is. And they're walking through all of the things that Southern Smiles of Sylacauga offers to its marketplace. It has all kinds of charts. It has side-by-side comparisons because AI engines love side-by-side comparisons. You can see right now it's walking through dental crowns, and then it's going to go on to materials for crowns. It's going to go to the next topic, root canal therapy, and it's going to keep on going on and on, showing why this practice has more experience and more expertise than any other. And remember, then we have below this article, the sub-pillar. We use the example of sedation, and below that, multiple other articles demonstrating the authority of Southern Smiles of Sylacauga when it comes to this particular topic, so that they're going to show up as the recommended choice in AI engines because they've proven that they have EEAT. Again, super critical. As you can see, this just goes on and on and on. Obvious question is, why do most people not do this? You can see why. It is a ton of work to do these, but what is a sedation patient worth to you? Is it worth doing that kind of work so that you show up as the recommendation of choice of the AI engine that is going to interact with a prospective patient and is going to show you, in this case, Dr. Rick Redmond, as the choice to be recommended. Super important. You are the author of this article, the pillar article, and the sub-pillar articles, and the articles after that. And now imagine that you're doing one of these topical authority content clusters every single month. 1 month is sedation, then is dental implants, and so on. Month after month, you put out another topical authority content cluster demonstrating that you are the expert of choice and should be the #1 recommendation. TACs are what demonstrate EEAT. Critical to understand this so that you get recommended first. And we're just getting started. AI search is soon going to dominate everything that's out there, and your AI optimized competition is going to steal your leads and your new patients, or you could be the one taking theirs. And you just want to ask yourself, which side of the equation do I want to be on? Only one practice will dominate AI in your area. Ask yourself, is that going to be you? Now, Google cannot afford to lose this war. They can't afford to lose the AI war at all. But even if they do, then AI is even more important, because then the search is happening on an AI engine directly, whether it's Perplexity, whether it's Grok, whether it's DeepSeek, whether it's ChatGPT. In that case, even more important that you dominate this, or else you're going to be left behind and become invisible. Somebody else is going to get those patients. All right, so now let's talk about conversion. Remember, digital marketing is just about traffic, how they find you, and conversion, what happens when they do. This is really important. This is my specialty, brain biology. We're looking at a cross section of the brain. Around the perimeter, you have the neocortex, also referred to as the thinking brain, responsible for logic, data, information, features, benefits, and of course, language. The fact that we understand each other right now is because of the neocortex. Clearly very important. At the center of the brain, though, you have the limbic brain. This is the feeling brain, the emotional brain, and all decisions are made in the limbic brain. The thinking brain is responsible, as mentioned, for logic, data, information. That's all good, but it just makes you think about something, including whether to choose your practice or not. Whereas the neocortex is where the decisions are made. We make decisions in the limbic brain is where decisions are made. We make decisions in the limbic brain. The reason why this is so important is because all decisions are made based on feelings. We make a decision based on a feeling, and then we justify that decision based in logic, right? Super important. They're made in the limbic brain. I want to show you an example of limbic messaging, a quick in my opinion, one of the best commercials ever made. Check it out, and we'll talk about it in 1 minute.
We believe in home and all the magical things that come with it. We believe in forts made from sofa cushions and blankets, licking the frosting off the mixer, and hanging masterpieces on the refrigerator door. We believe in gardens and that the sun recharges your soul. We believe in sending your neighbors smoke signals and celebrating for no reason at all. We believe in Friday night sleepovers and Sunday morning sleep-ins. We believe in the man cave, the woman cave, and having a lock on the master bedroom door. Finally, we believe your home really is your castle, and that our calling in life is to find the one that's perfect for you. Coldwell Banker, fulfilling dreams for over 100 years.
This is a terrific example of limbic messaging. They talked about why they exist, not what they do. What you do, somebody else does right down the street, but why they exist. We believe in the man cave. We believe in the woman cave. We believe in having masterpieces on the refrigerator door. And you're sitting there going, okay, I'm with you on that. They're inducing a yes state. Only at the very end did they talk about what they do. And our calling in life is to find the one that's perfect for you. It's the same thing with patients that land on your website. And I'm going to show you a bunch of before and after so you can get it, because I promise you, you want limbic messaging, emotional messaging that causes somebody to make a decision in your favor, not to think about it. Here's one of our clients, Chandler Park, what they used to look like before we work with them. You deserve the very best dental care. What is a patient thinking when they land there? That's right. I do deserve the very best dental care. Good thing these people get me where I'm coming from. Here's another one. Restore your smile without partials. That is just information. It doesn't move the needle. We believe in a smile that gets you compliments. Oh, I need some compliments. I want that in my life. Here's another practice. All your dental needs all in one office. Sounds like marketing copy that somebody wrote without understanding that it doesn't trigger a decision. Here's what it looks like now. We believe in changing lives one smile at a time. I know there's a lot of you who are looking at this going, oh my gosh, I absolutely need this on my website. Yes, you do. Dental implants, nothing but information. How about this? We believe in crisp apples and juicy steaks. Think about those dental implant patients that haven't eaten a crisp apple in years and have been thinking about it, and when they're going to eat a steak, somebody else got to cut them up for them. Really? How about this? Sedation dentistry, or because your comfort matters. Wow, you know, you're right. My comfort does matter, says the patient. These people get me. Expert cosmetic dentistry. Well, that's information, doesn't move the needle, or you deserve a Hollywood smile. Well, I certainly do deserve a Hollywood smile. Now that you mention, I'm going to pay for that, and that's what I want. Now, here are our friends at Southern Smiles of Sylacauga, and we believe in giving you the smile of your dreams. Here's another one. Because confidence matters. Wow, man, if I got a new smile and I could feel better about myself, that sounds great. These people are amazing. How about this? We picture a world where people smile confidently. And remember, you want this kind of messaging on the individual service pages, because when searches are made and somebody is sent to your site, they don't send you to the home page, they send you to the service. Here's another one. Because knowing you matters. Oh, wow. That certainly is very different than what I'm used to. This is the kind of practice that I want to be affiliated with. This is limbic messaging, or emotional messaging, that causes someone to feel different. It's an invitation into a belief, because your comfort matters. That's right. We believe in long-term relationships. Yes, I believe in long-term relationships too. Wow, these people get me. I want to take my issue, whatever it is, here. So what are we talking about? We're talking about AI equals traffic, how people find you, and limbic messaging equals conversion. What happens when they do? Why do they select you? And you need both. So the question becomes, where do you stand right now? Where do you stand in terms of AI and your optimization? And where do you stand in terms of conversion and limbic messaging? I want to offer you something, as I mentioned that I would at the top of the beginning of this presentation. I'll offer you a market analysis. How do you rank versus your competition? Who is that competition? What are they doing? What are they doing that you are not doing? And what can you do to beat them? And to get this, with my compliments, just pop on over to dentalmarketdominator.com/free. Put in your details so that we can get that market audit going for you, that AI audit going for you. And I will also immediately give you instant access to this presentation, along with action steps that you can take to begin dominating your market with AI and limbic messaging. So just pop on over to dentalmarketdominator.com/free. Maybe somebody can put it in the chat for us, and sign up there for a quick, take literally just a couple of details, your name, your email, etc., so that I can get that market analysis going for you right away. Then we can hop on the phone and I'll walk you through it and show you exactly what you need to do, where you stand, what does that look like, with my compliments. I love making new friends. So you're going to want to do that right away. I want to share a final thought with you. Again, back to this idea that AI represents both a crisis and an opportunity. Very important to understand that the AI engines don't tell you when they're not sending you traffic. All of a sudden, it's just a few less patients this month, and then a couple less new patients next month, and a couple less new patients the month after that, and you're not realizing why the business is going downhill. What is happening? Why am I getting less new patients than before? It's because they're going somewhere else to a competitor that is optimizing AI. That's why it simultaneously represents the opportunity. You could be on either side of the equation, the side that is diminishing or the side that is taking a dominant market position. In my opinion, AI actually stands for all in. You need to push all in when it comes to AI if you want to dominate your market moving forward when it comes to new patients. And it is only going to become more prevalent as we move forward. Therefore, I urge you to pop on over to dentalmarketdominator.com/free. Put in your details there so we can do a market analysis for you. You'll get instant access to these slides along with an action steps. We call it the new patient acquisition kit. It is right there for you right now. Pop on over, put in your details, and then we'll set up a call. I will hop on that call with you. I will talk you through it. Some of this is technical and complicated, but as a guy who likes to make sense out of things, hopefully I can do that for you to show you how you can take that dominant place so that you can get the best new patients in your market and grow your practice. And Lauren, I think I'm just about complete on the basics and ready for Q&A if anybody has some questions. I want to make sure I kept it relatively short to not overload people with too much information.
Well, I think that was great. It was jam-packed, so we appreciate that. Thank you. We do have a few questions. As a reminder, for those of you who maybe popped on before or a little after we started, this webinar has been recorded. You will be sent a copy of that recording probably this evening, probably from me. Originally, I think we'll send something tomorrow as well. As far as the CE credits go, that's all tracked automatically. You don't have to register, take a quiz at the end. I'll see when you logged in, when you logged out. As long as you're here for the bulk of the webinar, you will be sent a CE certificate. So one question, Richard, you talked a lot about these things in a conceptual level and about this free analysis, which I think is a very generous offer on your part. What typically happens next? Are these things that you can help them with? What is the normal course of events once you've determined that someone can benefit from optimizing their website traffic through AI and needing to do more with their website for conversions?
100%. That's what we do. We are exclusively focused on elite dental practices. That's it. We don't do any other markets, any other industries. Our job is to get you great new patients, period. We don't do anything other than that. And we do it in every way that we possibly can and are constantly scouring the marketplace to figure out the new ways to do that. I want to say something else about that. If whoever you are working with currently is not fully transparent with you and giving you the information that helps you make decisions, then you need to consider looking at an alternative, somebody else, somebody who can show you, oh, you did this and this many calls came in. And on those calls, this is what happened. This is the transcript of the calls. This is the exact audio recording of the call so that you can train your front office, etc., to convert more calls. We run a VIP white glove service for elite dental practices that want to get to the next level. I give every single client of ours, every practice, my personal cell phone number. And in fairness, I recognize that if I see Dr. Levine calling me, it's probably not to wish me a happy birthday and tell me that you love me. There's probably an issue that needs resolving, but I don't know to resolve the issue unless you call me. And that's why I give out my personal cell phone and say, call me. It works all over the world, no matter where I am. and we get back to you right away to take care of whatever the issue is and help you get those new patients. So when we go through the audit, first of all, it's absolutely no obligation, no nothing other than let's have a conversation and see how we can possibly help you. And if nothing else, I can help you to find the language to speak to whoever you're working with, because most of us just don't have that education. We don't know, and it's tough. So anybody that wants to pop over to dentalmarketdominator.com/free, put in your data and information, you'll make a new friend, a new ally. That would be me and my team. And we'll do whatever we can to help you do what it is that you're trying to do with your practice.
There's a number of dentists out there who have opted out of being in a network for insurance companies. Is that a requirement to work with you, that they have to be in network with some type of a dental insurance company, or is that not really a factor?
In fact, it's the other way around. We will help you do whatever you want to do. We have a number of practices who are absolutely just fee for service, and that's all they want to do. And so, of course, if that's the case, I mean, think about this, Lauren. If that's the case, somebody does not want to be in network, then that's even more reason why they have to dominate the AI engines and the search engines and the local maps and everything, right? They have to, because otherwise you can't survive. But if you do that, and if you're in that space where you're showing up #1 everywhere, like Southern Smiles of Sylacauga, for example, then you're going to get the best new patients, and you're not going to need that insurance. So we help you. We appreciate that everybody has a different situation depending on where they are, what you're looking for. Are you looking to grow, stabilize, whatever it may be? And we customize and personalize any program that we set up with the practice. And then, of course, like I said, we just work with you directly. We have open communication, transparent communication, because that way we both win.
Okay. This is, just some great content. A few questions here. So what if, I know a lot of offices are doing some, basic social media. Maybe they've hired someone to do some blog posts for them. But a lot of times, these ones that I've seen, the topics are somewhat short, and there doesn't seem to be any pattern or any, they just seem disjointed. The TAC method that you talked about, is that going to replace blogging for these offices?
So the answer is yes and no. It is a supplement more than a replacement. And what I mean by that is you're absolutely right. Disjointed programs just don't get you results. Social media today is more of a PR play than a new patient play. It's more of a getting your name out there type of a thing. And if you have a big budget, that's great. But if you're tight on your budget or you want to manage your money correctly, far better to do the things that you know are going to move the needle. Educate the AI engines. That's what TACs are for. Blogging has two components to it. There's the blog posts that are patient facing that people are going to take in. For example, we like video blog posts. People watch the video and then there's explanatory copy below the video. And then there's AI blog posts such as a TAC. So we do both. For our clients, we have both blog posting that is for patients, because nobody wants to read. I mean, a full-blown TAC, by the way, Lauren, is about 12 to 15,000 words. Nobody's going to read that except the AI engines. So we also supplement that with regular blog posting, generally video-based, but can also be text-based periodically, so that the patients have something that they can get educated by as well in a user-friendly fashion. The most user-friendly fashion right now is video.
Who writes that TAC? Does the office have to do it themselves, or is that something you do? How is that handled?
No, we do. There's no way the office can do that. We do it ourselves. We first send agents, so AI agents, out into a given marketplace to ascertain what is important in that market. What are people looking for in that market? So we do queries of the market in general when it comes to dentistry in any given geographic space, and we only take one client per geography for obvious reasons, because they're going to dominate. And then we take that information of what people are really looking for and use that to build each of the TACs. In technical language, it's called, what are the entities that Google is looking for? An entity can be a thing, a place, a service. anything that someone would look for. And then we make sure that we find out what those are. From there, we build the tags themselves so that when someone is looking for that particular topic, sedation, implants, all-on-4, Invisalign, whatever it may be, you're going to be recommended before anybody else.
Okay. So I agree with you that people are using ChatGPT and AI versus Google search a lot more. I personally can't tell you the last time I actually typed in a Google search. I do everything through ChatGPT. But how do you know that patients are using AI when it comes to finding a dentist?
So what you want to do is just right now, attribution in AI is really not possible. There are a couple of tools out there. They really don't work very well. But what does work is when you use AI yourself and do some searches. So say, pick up your chat, you use ChatGPT, Lauren, so that's perfect. You'd say to ChatGPT, hey, my kid just fell and busted out his 2 front teeth. We need an emergency dentist insert the location. Who do you recommend? And AI is going to go out there and look and see who is the practice that has EEAT, that has the experience, the expertise, the authority, and the topical authority to be recommended by them. So all you have to do is pretend like you're looking for something, and you'll see immediately what that looks like right away. It won't take you but a second. And that's the best way to do it. Just do a couple of searches. Hey, I'm afraid of the dentist, and I've heard that sleep dentistry might be good for me. Who does sleep dentistry, obviously sedation, in my area? And see who shows up first, because that needs to be you. If you do sedation, you want to be that practice. How are you going to do that? By setting up tags that focus on sedation. We have a client that does a tremendous amount of stuff in TMJ. TMJ patients are top ticket. I mean, they're expensive. Those are good cases. And so we have them dominating all of their area for TMJ. We can do sleep apnea. We can't do Botox because that's a trademark, but we can certainly do wrinkle eliminators, dermal fillers, or whatever you do in your practice that you want to dominate for. That is what we do, and that's what we can help you do with tax. And no, you can't do them yourself. It's just way too technically complicated to do that, but we do that for you.
Got it. What about so some people have already said they filled out the form, so that's great. I think, like I said, I've known Ridgely for a number of years. We have a mutual friend, Gary Sanchez, who does the Y Institute, and I can totally vouch for him and what he's doing. What about, there's a lot of dental offices whose website is less than new, let's say. It's quite old. Can those people still get AI visibility? Is it going to require a rewrite of their website? How is that typically handled?
Yeah, no, it's a very good question, Lauren. Thanks for asking that. So the reality is, if you have an old website, there is no way that the engine under the hood is optimized for AI. It's just not. It may look beautiful, it may look pretty, whatever, but you have to upgrade your website. 100% you have to do that. We do that for you, by the way. And sometimes if a website looks great and you love the way it looks and feels, we can upgrade the engine under the hood without changing much of the look and feel. But do you need to upgrade your website for AI purposes? 1000% the answer is yes. I guarantee you, if your website was done 5 years or more ago, it is not good enough anymore. Guaranteed, it cannot rank in AI. It must be upgraded. The engine below the face of it needs a complete overhaul, no matter what. Sometimes you say, hey, I'd like to upgrade my whole thing. No problem, that's fine. But at the very least, the engine under the hood has to be upgraded for AI without a doubt, no matter what, if you've had a website that's over 5 years old.
Perfect, makes sense.
Maybe actually more like 3 years old or 2 years old. So AI is happening so fast.
Yep. AI is a fast-moving target. There's no doubt about that. We are towards the top of the hour, and we're done with the questions. So, anything you'd like to say before we wrap it up for the evening?
Yeah, I'd like to say this. A lot of times, I recognize that change is hard. many of us are resisting this whole AI thing. It's like, oh man, really? Do I really have to do this? Do I have to learn this? When it comes to your clinical excellence, yes, you do. When it comes to new patient acquisition, no, you don't. But you need to work with somebody who does, somebody who really understands the AI game, the AI new patient acquisition changes that are happening in dentistry right now. So please do not kid yourself, whether it's working with us or somebody else. Learn about how to ask the right questions. Hop on over there to the forum with me, dentalmarketdominator.com/free. Even if all you want to do is talk to me about how to talk to your agency, that's fine. I am happy to help. I found that it always works out in the long run. But today, AI is going to change the face of your practice forever, and you cannot be left behind. So please do not act like the ostrich that puts its head down in the sand. Don't do that. You have an opportunity to dominate. The opportunity is right now. And if you take action quickly, you'll take that top position, and it's much harder to unseat the top practice than it is to get there later. So please take action. Don't ignore this AI thing. You don't have to learn how to do it, but you do have to have somebody on your team who's doing it for you. And I'll leave everybody with that, wishing everybody great good fortune in 2026. The opportunity of a lifetime, in my mind, is right in front of us thanks to AI. And thank you, Lauren, for being such a great host.
Well, thank you, Richie. This was fantastic content. We had nobody leave during the middle of the webinar, so that's always a good sign that people are staying glued to their screens. You and I had talked recently. I think this is a topic that needs to be further explored, and we definitely want to bring you back in the next month or two and do a few of these, because I have a feeling we just scratched the surface tonight. But thank you for sharing your time and expertise with us. As a final reminder, we did record the webinar. That recording should be sent out later this evening. The CE credits I should be able to get out tonight as well, possibly tomorrow morning. As long as you were here for the webinar and stayed for most of it, you will be sent a CE credit. There's nothing else that you need to do. As soon as we are done, it's going to hang up, and there's no quiz or anything like that. So please stay safe and healthy out there. We thank you all for joining us. We do these webinars, as I said, on a regular basis. If you are here tonight, you will be invited to future webinars, and we look forward to seeing you all the next time we do this. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you.